These two fragrances are great. They're amazing, they really are. I have a lot of love for both of these, and also I have a lot of love for all of their flankers. I mean, these really set the bar high for men's fragrances. I know Bleu de Chanel came first, and this one's really what kicked it off, but there are also a lot of fragrances following in the footsteps of Sauvage, whether they're trying to smell like it or whether they're just trying to reach a same level of success. With both of these, you know, every brand achieves that. Every brand wants to achieve that. They want to create something that is just going to be about everywhere. And so what we have today is 10 fragrances that I think would have the potential to kind of roll with those two top dogs. Now, they are nowhere near those yet, and realistically, they probably never will be, because some of these have been out for a while, some maybe are a bit newer, but you know, just with how everything works, I don't see it happening. But I do think if these came at the right time, maybe a couple years ago, 5 years ago, something like that, I think they could have been up there with Sauvage and Bleu de Chanel and all those top dogs. Now, don't get me wrong, these here are popular to some extent, some more than others, more so in the community, but I'm sure they are worn outside of the community as well, but nowhere near the level of the two that I was just holding up, and that's pretty easy to tell. I will provide links to all of these down below to discounters so you can pick them up at an affordable price, and I think that's really all we have. So I want to start here with RASASI HAWAS. Okay, this one has plum, ambroxan, bergamot, just kind of your run-of-the-mill aquatic fragrance note breakdown. The difference is that it's really unique, and so for those who are unaware, and I have to give this example every time, this was where Invictus Aqua 2016 stemmed from. This actually was released a year before that one. So this is where it all started. And when you smell this in comparison to the 2018 version of Invictus Aqua, there's absolutely no comparison. This one crushes it in every single way. And you can also get this one for $40 for 100 milliliters at the first link down below. That's mind-blowing. This stuff is one of the best bang for your bucks at that price point, hands down. It's fun, it's fruity, it's playful, it's a great aquatic scent that anymore I would choose over Invictus Aqua 2016. I really think I would. If Paco Rabanne decided to bring back that DNA, the 2016 version, I'm not talking about the 2018, if they brought back the OG Invictus Aqua 2016 in the frosted glass bottles, if they brought back that exact same thing, I think I would still choose this one. Price point, performance, everything about it. This one now, it has my heart. This stuff is incredible. And given that it's not from a brand like Chanel or Dior or Yves Saint Laurent or Dolce & Gabbana, it's never going to have the reach as fragrances like Bleu de Chanel and the like. But I think if it was released by one of those big brands, it would shoot to the absolute top. I mean, this stuff is a monster of a fragrance. Next up, we do have a fragrance from a decent-sized designer brand here. BVLGARI Man Glacial Essence. Clearwood, juniper berries, musk, and cedarwood. It's a really nice summertime, fun, playful citrus scent with a bite. And what I mean by that is when you smell it, it has this nice, strong citrus bite. My only complaint with these is the atomizers. I'm just not a fan of them. Very narrow, very, very narrow. Just kind of hard to even get to where I can smell it. Great smelling scent though, nice and woody, clean, fresh, a little bit watery in a way. Sometimes Clearwood kind of gives off this watery texture. It's a fragrance that has a lot of versatility to it and also a lot of mass appeal. I mean, this is something that would be hard for people to dislike. Now at this point, just kind of given that it's buried in the BVLGARI Man lineup, I don't think this would ever shoot anywhere near towards the top. Maybe if they released this as a standalone and pushed it heavily with marketing, it could get somewhere up there, but I don't think it ever will be. I think this will still maintain to be kind of more of a fragrance enthusiast fragrance. Even though this one is not challenging like most enthusiasts would like, just people who are into collecting, they keep up with the news, I think they would, gravitate towards this one. I honestly don't think a lot of people outside the community would really pick up on this stuff, and that's a shame. Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male on board. So this one's got bergamot, amber, geranium, and tonka bean. So, we've been through it here with the Le Male line. They had, what was it, Popeye, they discontinued that, or it was kind of a limited edition, I believe. And then Superman, that was also a limited edition, can't get it anymore. They might have even had another fresh one that I'm missing out on, but I know Popeye and Superman smell basically the same. And, you know, up until this one, we really didn't have too many fresh ones. There's a Le Male in the navy and Aviator and things of that sort, but those kind of go off in directions that maybe a little bit different. One kind of has a CH Min type of smell, violet leaf heavy. This one kind of stays true more to the Le Male lineup, and in a way kind of has a similar thing going on to Popeye, Superman. It does smell different than them, but in terms of its composition, it has some sweetness combined with the freshness and the mintiness, and that's kind of how Popeye / Superman came across as well. They were summer versions that weren't fully your typical summer version that you would expect. Not just a whole boatload of citrus and musk and that's it, kind of boring. You know, they tried to do something different with those summertime editions, and that's the same thing you get here with On Board. I think this one is really, really nice. I love the creamy aspect and the slight sweetness that you get from this one. Big fan here. It is on discounters now. You can pick this one up easily, and I hope they keep it around, because for me, this would be what I would reach for if I was wanting to wear Popeye, but didn't want to wear out of my actual bottle. Again, differences between the scents, but it kind of accomplishes the same thing. I don't think it'll ever reach to the point of Ultra Male or the original Le Male for that matter. Unfortunately, but I think if everything lined up right, it definitely would have the potential to do so. So this next one is very, very popular. Talked about in every other video, it seems like, and so you're probably going to be like, what are you talking about? Why are you holding this one up? It's very popular, and you're right, it is. But still, I would say most of the popularity is going to be within the fragrance community. Now, I'm certain that people outside of the community have picked up on this one by now, but it's still nowhere near Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, original Aqua de Jo, Versace Eros, the original, right? None of those, not even close. Who knows if it will be? Maybe it might actually be. Looking here, this might be one of the few that could get close to those, because it's still going up every single year. People are still discovering it, but it's Wanted by Night. It's got tobacco, fruity notes, cinnamon, orange. Smells fantastic. It's that original Wanted DNA, but with a sweetness and a spicy type of undertone. And not even necessarily undertone, the spicy cinnamon is right up top. And it smells amazing. I'm a big fan. You know, for me, the original Wanted is one that's not for me. One that I just don't wear. It's just a little bit too lemon forward for me. But Wanted by Night is everything I could ask for in a flanker. I mean, they did not mess anything up with this one. It's incredible. And like I said, year after year, more and more people are catching on to this one. It's not at the top right now, but who knows? If it keeps going at this rate, maybe it can get up there and kind of get close to, you know, where Eros was at its peak or something like that. We'll have to see. Another Bulgari fragrance. This one is AQUA ATLANTIQUE. So in terms of blue fragrances, I would say this one right here is one of the best bang for your bucks. I mean, it would be between this and Dylan Blue, and at the end of the day, when you're at that point, it comes down to which one do you like better. I will say, I think performance is going to be a little bit better with Atlantique. I think that this one's more daytime, summer appropriate, whereas Dylan Blue has a little bit more of a sweetness. You know, Dior Sauvage, EDT, Bleu de Chanel, EDT, even EDP, they shine great in the summertime heat. Dylan Blue is not one that I would wear in the daytime summer heat, more so evening. But I think Atlantique can really rival some of those because it's only about $40. Performance is monstrous. It hangs with Sauvage EDT. It beats Bleu de Chanel by like 2 or 3 times. I mean, this stuff is an incredible scent. I've gone through a ton of this stuff. I plan to go through a ton of it this summertime. I actually plan on wearing it even more this year. I always say that, but sometimes I get distracted with new releases and constantly testing new stuff that I forget to wear my true loves, and this is one of them. I'm zoomed in because I'm trying to show you the bottle level. That's probably kind of random. I'm just shoving this in your face. It's running low. I've got backups, of course, and I think if this one, I don't know, was able to ride the train a little bit better, maybe came out just a little bit sooner. I know it came out, you know, a few years ago now, but I think this could have had the potential to skyrocket to the top. Next up, we've got Gentleman Boisé Eau de Parfum by Givenchy. Yeah. Not necessarily in that exact order, but, you know, all the words are there, I believe. Pepper, iris, sandalwood, cacao. I love this fragrance. I do. At first, I was a little bit, you know, it was okay, then it wasn't okay, and I'm like, I don't know where I stand with this. Now, and for a while now, I've been very impressed with this stuff. It's another one of those ones where I needed time. I needed to evaluate it. I needed to wear it on skin more. I needed to give it some trials through wintertime and fall, cooler weather. And now I'm here to say that I stand behind this one 100%. It's smooth, it's creamy from the iris sandalwood mixture, a little bit of a chocolatey touch from the cacao in here, and it smells great. Love this stuff. A little bit more mass pleasing than the EDP, Gentleman EDP, which is already, you know, pretty mass pleasing. You know, it's just kind of a dumbed down version of that. Still has some sweetness, that sort of thing. And of course, the iris. I think this one would appeal to a lot of people outside the community who are looking for a date night scent. Will it ever join the likes of Eros, Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, Aqua de Joe Original? No. I would basically bet anything that it will never get close to that point. I would say almost, if anything, the EDT Intense, you know, maybe could get up there as well. But I wanted to feature this one because I really think here it's overlooked, it's overshadowed, it's underrated, and it shouldn't be. Amazing fragrance that I do think, you know, if it was timed better, if it was maybe even a standalone, I think it could easily have just the base and the backbone to potentially be like one of the top sellers. Alrighty, Armani code ABSOLU. So this one is kind of taking a similar path to, or a similar path like AZZARO Wanted by Night, where year after year it's still going up. You know, this one has not bottomed out yet, not even close. I still remember the huge hype wave when it first came out. I was blown away by it. And, you know, each time winter comes around, fall, you know, it's up there. It's in people's lists. People are talking about it. It's got vanilla, suede, tonka bean, orange. I love this fragrance. Silky, smooth, and sweet vanilla. Smells incredible. A little bit of a spicy touch, tiny bit in here, but primarily overall, it's a smooth, creamy scent that is very, very nice for the winter time. It's going to have a little bit of that playful type of attitude going on, so not for everybody, but you know, it kind of falls into the Eros category in a way in terms of its sweetness. This one is more mature and refined than Eros, but you know, if Eros is able to shoot to the top of basically everything, like we all know Eros is a bestseller. You go to any website that sells fragrance, sort by best-selling, Eros is within the top 5 at least, sometimes top 3. And you know, this one's also sweet. I think that if it keeps going in the direction it's going, it could get there. I don't know for sure. I think it has everything that it takes. It's just a matter of what the community wants it to do and if people outside the community pick it up. So from one side of the spectrum to the other, we've got Deep Blue Parfum by Ralph Lauren. So this one's got mango, it's got C notes, ambroxan, there's a citrus in here. At first I was kind of like, oh, whatever. When it first came out, first impressions, I was like, you know, whatever. You know, I have to admit now, I like it a lot. The mango note comes through a lot more to me. I focus on that more. It's kind of a blue fragrance twist, and I think it's very tasteful. It's not just a puked out, lame blue fragrance that's trying to copy Sauvage or copy Bleu de Chanel. It's its own twist, and I think ultimately that's kind of what you would need to make it work really well. Same with Atlantique, it's its own twist. Dylan Blue, own twist as well. So I do like this one. It's got that nice ambroxan fizzy bite to it. Smells great, good performer, nice parfum concentration here, wears really nice on the skin, good compliment getter, very versatile. It's up there in that mid to upper mid-range pricing, so you do get a good quality product, and it's from Ralph Lauren. That's always a plus too. When someone asks what you're wearing a Ralph Lauren fragrance. That's hard to beat. Second to last, we've got Creed Aventus Explorer by Montblanc. So it's got notes of Creed Aventus cologne. I don't need to say anything. This is already, I mean, when you look at the bestsellers page, it's getting up there, right? It's getting close. If we could get, you know, continue to get more and more people outside the community to pick up on this one, I think sky's the limit. I mean, it really is a great Aventus twist. Now, you take a look at Club de Nuit Intense Man, and that one will spread by word of mouth. You know, people will tell a buddy, oh, if you want something that smells like Creed Aventus for quarter of the price, Club de Nuit Intense Man by Arm Off. They don't know what any of the words you just said are. They're like, okay, just send me a link, bro, because I don't know what you just said, right? No one knows Arm Off. No one knows what that means. A lot of people don't even know Creed Aventus, right? And so having a big designer brand, everyone knows Montblanc, or at least a lot of people do, whether it be for their pens or their fragrances, right? People have at least heard of the brand. And so that helps a lot with getting a fragrance to rise to the top. And it's getting up there, but I think it still could continue to be one of the top fragrances for men. And last up, we've got ROCHAS L'Homme by ROCHAS, of course. Pineapple, blood orange, juniper berries. Nice aromatic men's fragrance. Great atomizer, great presentation. It's a fantastic smelling scent. Kind of smells a little bit like Dolce & Gabbana K, but about 10 times better. K has this weird note that I don't like. I've heard it been compared to pickles. Like people say it has a pickle smell. And when you think about that and you smell Dolce & Gabbana K, it is kind of there. It's strange, it's weird, but no pickle note to my nose here. A little bit more refined, a little bit more smooth, more gentlemanly. K is going to be more on the youthful and kind of blah side. You know, I think Dolce & Gabbana could have done better. The EDP is better than the EDT, but still not great. I would choose ROCHAS L'Homme any day. No way this is ever going to be at the top, not even close. ROCHAS, people don't really know about it. A lot of people don't. It's just not going to do it. But I think if this was released by a big designer brand, you know, if Dolce & Gabbana would have used this exact fragrance instead, I think they could have gone a lot farther with it. K, as it sits right now, is kind of, you know, doing circles in the water. It's not really doing that great. Maybe outside the community it is, but I don't think that one's ever going to pop off. I don't really think this one will either, but it definitely has the potential to. Alrighty guys, that is 10 underhyped fragrances that in my opinion should easily be as popular as Sauvage and Bleu de Chanel. You know, these all have the potential. They have the amazing fragrance, smell. They've got good quality, good performance, and a lot of them really nice, catchy presentation that can be marketed easy. A lot easier than these. I mean, they're pretty plain, right? You got AZZARO Wanted by Night, the revolver style. You've got AQUA ATLANTIQUE, the water droplet. So there's potential here. I just don't think that a lot of them are going to be able to get that traction to shoot to the top, which is kind of a shame, but at the same time, you know, we could still wear them and kind of keep them our little secret here in the community. I will link these up down below to discounters so you can check them out. Let me know what I missed. Are there any that you think, you know, would have the potential to be as popular as some of the best sellers? Let me know down below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.